We need to hold governments accountable.
Exactly. If you elect the right leaders, then it's not supposed to be an issue.
Ignorance is bliss. I know you grew up with corporal punishment, right?
And abuse. It is physical assault.
I would call it assault because it comes from love, but
that is what it is.
do you believe in a divine creator?
I would say that.
Do you think safety is more important than privacy?
I believe so, yes.
Should the government be trying to make people safe at the expense of infringing on your private rights?
I believe that is something that is worth. It's a fair trade. Give away a bit of privacy, not too much privacy, but I think if you were to ask this question to any reasonable citizen, I think
they would trade off a bit of their
privacy for safety. Yeah.
For safety. But then where do you draw the line? When you get a government that is now having all sorts of spyware, motion, what they call face recognition software being put all over streetlights, and then they are all over your business and looking at what you're doing every day, monitoring what you're doing every day. Where do you draw the line between now that these people are trying to keep me safe, or these people are just snooping into my life?
I think now that's when the issue of trust comes in. How much you trust the government with all this information. So it depends on the type of government that the citizens put in office, because basically the government is supposed to be a representation of the people. So if in any democratic society, if you guys elect the right sort of leaders and you give them this authority over you guys to ensure your safety, basically you would assume that they would want to do what is right for you, for the nation. Yeah. So if you elect the right leaders, then it's not supposed to be an issue, because you have trust in them, you have faith in them. So,
but I mean, leaders do change. So when they make laws that infringe on your privacy, and then at some point you get a leader who is, I would say, very dictatorial, and they want to use this kind of laws to ensure you are subdued and ensure they keep on, being in power, and they continue to plunder your resources, or they can continue to keep you slaves.
Yeah, I think with every invention, with every law, with every, I think in our day-to-day lives, we come across these scenarios whereby there's a flip side to everything. Something can start out as good or with good intentions, but then if it's misused, then now you get the negative effects of that.
It turns bad.
Yeah, it turns out not to be as intended initially. Yeah. So I think the power again rests with the citizens. If such things were to happen, then I think citizens are supposed to rise up, and fight back, take back their power.
I don't think I would trust most, I would say, dictatorial regimes with privacy laws, because I feel like they would be helpless in trying to strictly follow those laws.
It's sort of human nature.
They will abuse it, right? If somebody knows your address, they are tracking you through your phone, and they are able to look into your computer screens. Sometimes they can tap into your television, and they know your browsing history. Yeah. And I think if that information falls into the wrong hands, then definitely that is not good for any government.
So of course, from the outset, there needs to be limits. Yeah. Like you can't just give them blanket authority or blanket access over every facet of your life, but just general surveillance. We're not talking about governments going into your phone, your screens and everything, but just in terms of general surveillance, like CCTV footage, cameras in the streets. But there needs to be limits of what they can get access to from the outset.
We need to hold governments accountable.
Exactly.
If you had a partner, maybe a long-term partner, your wife, and she cheated on you, and this is somebody you really, really love, yeah? Would you want to know that she cheated on you? Or would you just live the moment, never know, die not knowing, and just roll on with it?
To an extent, ignorance is kind of protects us from getting hurt.
Ignorance is bliss.
As they say, ignorance is bliss, yeah. So you'd rather not know. Yeah. I think I'd rather not know.
You'd rather not find out.
Exactly. I'd rather not find out.
Yeah. I think I'd also rather not know.
Yeah. I'd rather
because it's going to save you a lot of headache.
Exactly.
It's going to save you. In that situation, it will likely save your marriage.
Yes.
Your kids will grow up with their parents.
No divorce for
No
you.
divorce. You won't incur, that extra cost of going through a divorce, definitely, right?
Even the financial aspects, the emotional, the emotional hurt that comes with.
Yeah, that comes with that.
Yeah. So.
But then again, I think it also depends on what is in question, right?
Is there a scenario where you would rather know?
I think there are scenarios where you would want to know what really is going on. Like if your partner had a serious diagnosis that may likely impact your life, and they keep it to themselves.
Yeah, of course.
I think in that kind of sense, you would be hurt, but it would be good to know. If I think your parent, say, was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and they know about it, they don't tell you, and this goes for a while, and suddenly you realize they are dying when it's too late, and there's very little
time
to
process
make
everything,
to process
and,
it and make adjustments. I think that's difficult.
So it's a situation by situation.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Sometimes I think even if you had a partner who was diagnosed with a sexually transmitted infection, something say as problematic as HIV, I think in that case ignorance is not bliss, right? In that case, it would be worth knowing.
It would be important, actually.
Yeah,
It
I
would
think
be
even
very,
if you are going
important,
to be upset, then you want your partner to tell you that I got this diagnosis.
You'd rather be upset for a short time, but
and then do something about
it. Take some precautions, and
Yeah.
So I think you just have to analyze every situation and see what's best, what's the possible outcomes of somebody knowing and somebody not knowing, and then you just weigh your options and see what you're willing to.
You have to be able to analyze the situation and make better informed judgments based on what you are presented with. Play the cards you have.
Every situation is different.
I know you grew up with corporal punishment, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think that it has impacted you in any way?
I don't think so. I think I would have turned out the same way I have, even without the corporal punishment.
You don't think you'd be a different person if
I don't think.
Because it's something that is very common, I think, in African households where people basically physically punish their.
assault you.
I would call it assault because it comes from love, but
that is what it is.
Physically, people physically punish their kids, and they think that is one way of perhaps ensuring that kids do the right thing. I think sometimes when you see kids who grow up in families where their parents were a little bit, I would say, easygoing, or their parents didn't believe in physical assault, I think sometimes those kids grow up to be more expressive.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah.
There are people who are more receptive. They are not afraid to
Speak up, to
and
disagree and debate them.
seek help, most importantly.
Okay.
Because for somebody who grew up fearing physical, I think, punishment,
Confrontation.
you grow up almost
Afraid.
afraid
Yeah.
to ask for help or to talk to somebody about what you are scared about. Whereas people who grow up, different or who are punished differently, they are more eager, I think, to seek for help. Yeah.
But I think the negative effects of that outweigh the positive effects.
Yeah.
And the positive effects, we can get them in other more civilized ways.
Yeah.
You can take away the toys, and they are more effective and non-abusive ways of disciplining kids. Okay? And with that, we stand to gain a lot in terms of the development of the child. And as you say, even in adult life, less of mental issues, anxiety,
Yeah.
even things like depression, all of that are sort of linked to being sort of traumatized from all that. It's basically, it's just, I don't think there's any way of putting it other than abuse. It is physical abuse, and it translates to developmental issues later in life. And yeah, and there's no softer way of putting it, and it's something that should be done away with completely, in my humble opinion.
Your opinion.
Yeah.
What about, because sometimes the way I see it is, I think physically punishing a child is lazy parenting.
Exactly.
It is, somebody
Taking the easy way out.
you're
literally.
basically taking the easy way
Yeah.
out, because for like a toddler, for you to tell them something and they do it, it takes saying it more than 5 times. So if you want it done right now, then it would be easier to just spank them. They cry about it and then they stop doing it.
They stop.
But if you want them to stop doing it long term because they understand why they stopped, then it would take
a different approach entirely.
Yeah, you'd need to probably get down to their level and tell them that's wrong. You can't do that, and they would need to slowly understand.
Exactly. You need to
that
learn slowly, and long term.
Yeah, they would need to slowly understand that what you're saying should not be done. And I don't think most parents are patient enough to do that.
And of course, with that, you'd also understand where those parents that do that are coming from.
Yeah.
In terms of their own upbringing, in terms of their social circumstances as well.
Yeah.
They don't have the patience, they don't have the time because of everything that they're going through as well.
Yeah.
They have their own issues. They maybe don't have a job.
Yeah.
Maybe you're struggling to make ends meet, and you have a kid here who is throwing tantrums. So maybe they also transfer a bit of their frustrations, their day-to-day frustrations to them. Yeah, to them.
Do you believe in a divine creator?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah,
I do. For sure.
You do believe in a God?
I do. 100%.
What makes you say that?
Well, like when you just take everything into account in terms of the universe and, to be more specific, humans, it makes more sense to attribute all this not to chance, but by, it has to be down to some supreme beings somewhere calling the shots, designing everything. Literally, it's not random. None of it is random.
Not a random thing.
None of this is random at all.
I think like this, it's a very weird order of things.
Yeah.
In the universe, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like if you were to think about it, everything seems so well curated, so well thought out.
Yeah.
That it's really difficult to wrap your mind around it.
Yeah.
That all that can happen just by chance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The fact that everything else is also very, very interconnected.
Yes.
That everything has been put in place for each and every purpose.
Yes.
that we have plants to eat, we have
Animals.
animals to live off on, and these other animals also live on other animals, and they also live on grass and other plants, and plants depend on these animals when they die to get their nutrients, and everything is just so interconnected, and it looks very well
Coordinated.
curated and
Yeah.
designed that
It's
I think it's
possible.
very
It's impossible
difficult.
to be random. Like
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
difficult to believe that all that can
Just happen on its
happen
own
on its own,
accord. Yeah. There has to be somebody.
controlling everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now I think that is equally scary. It scares me every single time
Yeah.
to think that there is a creator, to think that there is somebody who has made all this, right? And the reason why I am
Why
scared,
are you scared?
I'm scared because for what purpose? For what purpose did he create all this?
What did he have in
I think
mind?
that is the big question. Why did he do it, or why did she do it? Was it because he or she could do it?
He was just bored. He was just out of boredom.
If he did create us out of boredom, then are we really worth being around? Yeah.
I don't think it matters why he did whatever he did. I think what we can appreciate or what we can control is the here and now. Like we're already here. Does it benefit us to worry about why this, why that? I think we should just appreciate the moment, appreciate the fact that we're already here, make the most out of it, and the rest. If we think too much about it, I think you're gonna ask so many questions that we won't ever find answers to them, and yeah, we're gonna be more and more
We may
scared.
never know.
Yeah, we probably will never know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's easy to say than actually do, because I think the fact that the creator or the grand designer did design us, specifically humans, with a brain that is able to process, that is conscious, and this brain itself is trying to discover itself, right?
Yeah.
So the designer had a choice. He could have created us like a tree, brainless, roaming around, doing nothing without conscience.
Yeah.
And he decided to do it this way, or she decided to do it this way, right?
Yeah.
So does it make a difference if is there anything the designer gains from creating us with this kind of consciousness
I think
versus creating us without consciousness? Why would they do it like this?
yeah. I get your question. And I think yes, he or she has something to gain. Because when we borrow a bit from the Bible, just a bit, a small argument from the Bible, that when humans were created, they were created sort of to reign supreme over all these other creations, the animals, plants, and everything else. So humans needed to be more intelligent, more self-aware, more conscious, for you to coordinate all this, for you to sort of rule over these other lesser creations, to put it that way. Yeah. So if we were just as unconscious and as if we were just there as these other creations, then we wouldn't have that capacity to handle all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that we can say that the creator benefits from us sort of being more enlightened compared to these other creations.
Yeah. So if we are more enlightened, and the reason why we are more enlightened is to take care of the rest of
his
the creations.
Yeah.
So essentially, we are caretakers, right?
Something like that.
But why are we taking care of this, right? Is the creator benefiting in some way from us being here and taking care of his creation? Because I'm looking at it from the point of nothing happens by chance, and everything that has been
Happens
created so far,
for a reason.
there has been a reason why it's been created, right?
Yeah.
And that simply means that we definitely have to think about the creator creating us for a reason. Was the reason for himself or herself, or is the creator benefiting from us being around than us not being around? Yeah. What do you think?
I think that's one of those things that we will never know.
Yeah. We may never find out.
We may never find out, but we can continue thinking and debating and and just wondering.
Yeah.
It's one of those things to just keep on interrogating, literally.
Trying to find
trying
out.
to find out.
Yeah.
But
I think I was talking to somebody who gave me another different perspective. Yeah.
okay.
about, the creator, or sometimes we say God. And this guy was saying that essentially, if you assign a personality to God and look at God like a person, then God becomes almost like a psychopath or a sociopath. And the reason why he was saying like this is, if you were to think about somebody who creates something only for this thing to serve them, or to wake up every day and worship them, then if say you had a very dictatorial regime who tells you have to wake up every day at 5 in the morning and pray to me, and before you go to bed pray to me.
It's kind of narcissistic to think of it.
I think most people would revolt against that regime, right? They would say that that's a dictatorial regime.
Yeah.
So what essentially you were saying is, if we personify God as we describe him right now, then it almost looks like God is very selfish, and the kind of things that the creator puts us through is more for his own benefits, and it's more for their own glorification, right? What do you think?
Okay, and okay, I think his argument, of course, yeah, there's a validity to his point of view, but at the same time, I think there's a counter argument to that, because I think there's sort of, again, I would borrow from the Bible, and from the Bible, I think, well, I'm not very, very, very well versed with the Bible, but I think there are some qualities of God that we can get from that, in terms of him being loving, in terms of him being caring. So I think, okay, and I was just sort of, I'm just trying to think of how, of borrowing that from the Bible and now translating it to the day-to-day life. So I'm just trying to think of demonstrations of that in our day-to-day activities,
Yeah.
and how that would counteract this argument of him being narcissistic
And everything. Yeah.
and self-centered.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
creation itself is an act of love as well. I think most humans enjoy the human experience.
yeah.
Of course, it has its challenges here and there. I think most of us would rather be here than not.
Yeah.
And him giving us this chance to exist, even if you would argue that maybe it is to his benefit to an extent, but still, you are here now, you're able to live this life, you're able to do these things that you love.
Yeah.
So I think it's a demonstration of love.
Of the creators.
Yeah, he loved us, he loves us, that's why we are here, that's why. You can block all the other noise about glorifying
But
him,
I
but
mean,
just you living your day-to-day life, you
yeah.
having the chance to. You're making friends,
Yeah.
you're traveling, you're appreciating all this beauty. And
I think if you think about beauty, then not everything looks beautiful, because there are some really, really bad moments in time and in history that humanity has gone through. And even every day, there are toddlers born with brain tumors, who develop brain tumors, and they basically go through hell. There are people who are swept with tornadoes,
floods
and they
and
are
all these
swept with
other
floods,
acts of God, as I
acts
call
of God,
them.
as we call them. So it's not as rosy as somebody would like to put it. So if you think about being born, some people, I would say, are very, very unlucky, and they go through life, and unfortunately go through the worst in life. There are guys who are born and they develop some really crazy terminal illnesses, or they die early in some really tragic, natural disasters. And they die having lived in abject poverty, or not having really enjoyed much in life. So if you look at it that way, then what is the purpose?
That would reinforce the whole argument of,
Yeah. So if you think about it like that, that there is somebody watching all this going on,
and enjoying.
I don't know if they are enjoying, but they are not doing anything about it, right? And it's been going on since time immemorial, or since we were able to perceive time, and it's still going to continue, and they are still not going to do anything about it. Don't you think if your parent was doing that to you, I think most people would really disagree with their parents, right?
Yeah, I agree. But again, I think you can't have this discussion without leaning heavily on the Bible.
Again, the Bible is only for Christians.
Okay. Any other
And
religious text,
there's,
including the Bible
yeah,
and the Quran and everything.
there's so many people who don't believe in the Bible. And if you were to try and justify everything with the Bible, then it would not apply to so many other people. Because I strongly believe that probably the reason why we know more about the Bible is based on the geographical location where we were born. If say you had been born somewhere in Iraq, Iran, then probably you would have interacted very little with the Bible. You won't know much. If you would have been born in China somewhere, then probably you'd be a Buddhist or something different, right? If you were born in India, then it would be a different story.
So the thing is, I'm saying,
yeah,
let's not rely solely on the Bible, but even people from these different countries and other cultures, they have all these other religious texts.
yeah,
Basically, all these writings about God,
yeah,
because we are calling this creator God, and this is the same God that is in these religious texts. The Quran, I know the Buddhists also have some religious texts, and
yeah,
so because this thing is kind of supernatural, all this thing, we can't really conceive all of it. We can't really understand all of it. So we can't just have this argument at a level, at a human to human level. I think we have to sort of transcend to
yeah,
this other perspective of
yeah,
what happens after death.
yeah,
We can't just restrict it to you being born, you living, and then death
then
being
passing
the end
on.
of all of it.
Yeah,
If we go to that side of life after death and heaven and all that, then now maybe it contextualizes these other part of living, I think. Yeah.
and just from what you're saying, about Christianity, and I think sometimes we do talk about Christianity, but if you scrutinize it well, I think there are trouble we run into, right? Personally, I'm scared about. It's not like I don't believe, but I find it scary to completely say I am a Christian without questioning. And the reason why I'm scared is that opens up a Pandora's box. How far do you go? If you say that Christians believe in the Bible and the Bible was written as a word of God, and Jesus Christ is the Savior,
Son
or
of God.
is is the deity that you believe in, right?
Yeah.
And Christianity in Africa, or the part of the world where I come from, I think it came probably in 1901. Before that, we didn't really know much about Christianity. So if you think about it like that, before that, my ancestors believed in something completely different,
Traditional
traditional,
gods and
different
yeah,
creation
deities.
stories, right? So if you say that we have to believe the God of Christianity,
To
then you
understand
open up a Pandora's box of
what happened before.
how far can you go?
How far back do you go?
Like how far can you go in terms of your belief, and who is right, you know? And if somebody from my village says that they believe in my ancestors and they believe that my ancestors can work miracles, they can speak to them, and they can influence our daily life, who says they are wrong? Just the same way like a Christian can say, I can talk to God, I can talk to Jesus, and they can influence my life and they can influence your life. Who says that they are who is correct,
Who
right?
is right and who is wrong?
So I think that is what makes me scared of completely, believing or completely talking about Christianity as the only way out or the only religion. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So at that point, I would say that I'm not advocating for any religion. I'm not even asking you to believe in any religion or to borrow an argument from a specific religion. All I'm saying is that for us to try understand the whole concept of life and why we are here, why were we created, for what purpose, okay?
Yeah.
We have to borrow from somewhere beyond, from a world beyond this.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you believe in the traditional African gods and all that. whether you believe in the ancestors, whether you believe in Buddhists.
Yeah,
But
so-
we just have to understand that life maybe doesn't end here. There's something else beyond. And that would sort of give us a bit more, a wider context to sort of try understand this from and to debate. It basically just opens up our worldview to beyond the here and now.
What we know.
Yeah.
I think if I understand what you're saying is,
Yeah.
people should have a choice in who they believe in.
Of course, they should.
And we should be encouraged to interrogate our beliefs.
Yeah.
And you should not judge somebody based on their faith,
yeah.
or whatever they choose to believe on.
Yeah, true.